Hello, hello. Welcome back to Tarot Playdate number, I got to figure out my new computer. Okay, so I have a new computer. I want to put this little banner on the screen. This is not this hard, Jennifer. It is not this. There. There it is. Happy Playdate. Thank you to all who are here and ready and waiting. And I'm getting ready to say some hellos. I, last weekend, made the switch from PC to Mac when my computer died, so you will have to forgive me if I'm a little fumble fingers. And last week I cheated and I still used my old work laptop to do this, but we're jumping into the deep end of the pool now. All right, let me say some hellos to everyone. We have Neem, Essence 818 here, Early Bird, Catching the Worm, nice to see you. Elizabeth, won't participate, but smelling maybe a major. Richard, Longman Tarot, hello. Patrice, hi Patrice. I am wearing the shirt you gave me, Miss RBG. In the house is our Justice card, which we haven't had Justice yet. Wouldn't that be something? Anyway, thank you very much to you and Vernetta. Let's see here. We have Simon A up and Elle is here. Oi. You didn't say oi, but I know you do that in lives a lot, so I'm going to say oi. And then Jennifer Ball, hi, nice to see you here. And scrolling, oh, look at all the heart and happy, hearty emojis. The love is is definitely happening here in Playdate. I'm loving that. All right, let's see. Who else do we have here? Susie is here. Good morning. White Tree Tarot. Donna Riedler is here. Gigi Nilsson, hi. And Chris, Elemental Cartomancy, hello. Laurie Tries Life, hi. Kim Moon Whisper, nice to see you. Good morning to you as well. Tarot Trainee is here. Glad to see you back. And my chat jumped. Dang it. I was doing so well. Okay, we found our place. Shane is here. Hi, Shane. Thank you for jumping in before you go to work. And Jackie Jacaranda is here. Hello. Regina Tarot. Let's see. Maharet is here. Hello. And Tyken Light Moon. Okay. Kristen Louise, Empress Tarot. Hello. Am I making it? I'm almost to the end. I think I'm almost caught up here. There's Elle. The camera quality is being, oh my gosh, Elle. Wait till you hear like the fight I had with my camera this morning. The lighting, like I did, because it's a different computer, it's reading the camera settings differently. And I was like, okay, this is good enough. So I'm glad it looks good. Thank you. Oh, you got a new computer too, Kristen. So you know my pain, right? And Aquarius Owl is here. Hello. And Emily is here. Emily's Tarot Magic. Misty Hunter, good morning. Let's see, who else do we have here? What's with the moon, Shane? I'm missing way too much in the chat because I'm just trying to scroll through and say hi to everybody. And Fort, hope you're keeping well as well. Oh, shoot, there it went again. Val T is here. Hello, Justin Michael, listening on the go. Hey, I appreciate it very much. Oak Mama, hi, Melanie, nice to see you. All right, I think I made it to the bottom. If I missed anyone, please know, definitely not on purpose. Never is, because I would prefer to say hi to everybody and make everybody feel super welcome. All right, I'm going to switch over to my StreamYard here. Now, oh, hi, C Cat, nice to see you. All right. I think we have a lot of people in here, if not most people, know how this works. Hi, Beth, Aspasia Rising. Nice to see you. So what we're going to do first is, find out, did our King of Pentacles make an appearance for you this week? And if nobody says yes, I'll know you're lying, not on purpose, withholding. That's what it is. Because I saw a lot of chat in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group this week. This guy popped up for some folks, maybe even stalked some folks. He came up for me, I want to say at least twice in readings this week, including yesterday's daily draw, I think. Yes, yesterday. He had this nice place right in the middle of my spread going, oh yeah, you're going to deal with me today. Donna, you're the one I'm thinking of. Just so you know, I know you had the King of Pentacles giving you some attention. All right, let's see here. Did I have anybody else say yes? You won on the premium bonds. Okay, that sounds like a money thing. And that sounds good. So way to embrace the King of Pentacles. Nicely done. Oh, he came over to your place, Val. All right, that's good. 4 times in Donna's polls this week. That's interesting. Showing up a lot in readings. Yeah, it feels like we were definitely getting a lot of King of Pentacles energy, but there are worse stalker cards. Am I right? So let's see what new energy we will be playing with this week. I have an ever shrinking deck, but before we draw our cards, you know what we got to do, because we will look at alternative cards as we always do. So I want to gather a list of 5 questions that you all want to answer with this week's card. Putting it in all capitals helps to ensure that I can grab it and get it into the chat and see it, because in StreamYard, tagging doesn't really work. So does anybody want to show us how it's done? Simon does. Simon brought a question. What qualities can we bring forward to be of benefit to our community? That is a wonderful question, Simon. Thank you. Loving it. What qualities can we bring forward to be of benefit to our community? Awesome. And then, okay, I'm trying to use the touchpad here. Aquarius L. Well, since I said my husband is the king of pence, we've spent a lot of time together this week in quarantine. Yeah, I hope you like each other. That's all I'm saying. All right, we have Emily here. What do we need to release this dark moon? Oh, I got some stuff. Emily, I have got some stuff. Am I trying to show that? No, I'm not trying to show that. I'm trying to put it in the chat. There we go. Emily's release has been the name of the game for me lately. Do we need to release this dark moon? All right, we'll save that. And then we have from Kristen Louise. How do we work toward accepting ourselves as we are while challenging us to be our best selves? Oh, self-love while working on self-growth. That is a tricky combination and a wonderful question. Thank you, Empress Tarot. All right, how do we work toward accepting ourselves and our poor eyesight, apparently, as we are, while challenging us to be our best selves? Love that. Anything to do with personal growth, I'm a big fan of. Okay, let's see. Then we have from Elle, what's something I need to mindfully notice and work on? All right. I'm going to put a we in there, Elle, if that's all right with you, because I'm sure we all have things we can mindfully notice and work on. What's something we need to, I think when we get to that question, remind me too, because I'd love to get, when we look at that card, you know, it may not be something we need to work on as a collective, right? So I'd love to see how you all interpret that particular question for yourselves. I think that'll be a lot of fun. And then, what should we work on for personal growth from Regina Tarot? And I had a few more. Oh, you guys are bringing it. Thank you. Okay, so wait, let me think about this here really sec, because we have this from Kristen Louise, challenging us to be our best selves. So that's kind of the personal growth. Do we feel like that's enough? Similar? Will you guys be okay with that? And then I'm thinking, because I also had Tarot Trainee come in right at the same time now. This says, how can I chill my emotions this week? How about, would you mind, Tarot Trainee, if I just tweaked this just a little to say, how can I balance my emotions this week? Because we might have some of us who need to bring our emotions up, others who might need to bring them down. Would that be all right with you? I'm going to type it out, but you let me know if that's going to be too far off your intent. And Regina Tarot, I hope you don't mind. I think you guys came in at the same time, but I think we can answer that with the same question that Kristen Louise asked. How can we balance? I'll put chill in parentheses just so we remember your original intent. How about that? our emotions this week. All right, as I think about it, I find ways to make what I'm suggesting better. So, all right, so many good questions. Yes, Beth. Oh, Lori, yes, bring that one back next week. I hope you like each other. I mean, when you're stuck in a quarantine, and if you don't, I hope. No, that wasn't right. That never mind. I'm not even going to finish that sentence because it was not going the right way. Chris's question, please. Patrice, it came in after. Okay, I'm glad you're cool with that, Regina and Tarot Trainee. Thank you, thank you, thank you. All right, am I missing anything good in the chat? You fun, silly goose, Chris. You know what, Chris? If we have time, remind me that we want to use this card to find out how we can have more fun, silly, bring more fun, silly energy into our lives. But you know what a good start is? Like hanging out here with us, right? So just hang out here and already we will have more fun, silly energy in our lives. All right, let's get to shuffling, shall we? Okay, let me get it so my comments will keep scrolling for me. That would be really nice. Yes, bring it back next week. If this is not silly and fun enough for you, please bring that question back. Okay. Oh gosh, I'm like the worst overhand shuffler, and as this deck gets smaller and smaller. Oh, I'm supposed to look at the questions when I do this. I have this thing about keeping my questions in mind. So here we go. So from Simon at the Hermit's Cave, not like anybody doesn't know who that is, but I always say it that way because I can't stop myself. What qualities can we bring forward to be of benefit to our community? From Emily, what do we need to release this dark moon? From Kristen Louise, how do we work toward accepting ourselves as we are while challenging us to be our best selves? From Elle, what's something we need to mindfully notice and work on? And then from Tarot Trainee, how can we balance or chill our emotions this week? All right, what qualities can we bring? What do we need to release? How do we work toward accepting ourselves while challenging us to be our best selves? What's something we need to mindfully notice and work on? And how can we balance, chill our emotions this week? All right, my friends, let's see what we got. Well, somebody was right about being a major. The Fool. We have come to the beginning of the journey, my friends. So, first reactions. Yay, nay, not so sure. What do you think? Let's see what y'all are thinking. And I'm also going to see what y'all been saying in the chat. Let's see here. Play Jenga. There you go. Thank you, Oak Mama. This was a gift from Patrice, who's here in Playdate. T-Cat, hello. Nice to see you. I don't know I'm missing some good stuff in the chat. I'm a little bummed. Okay, we've got some wows and woas. All right, we're loving it. We're loving it. This would have been great. You know what? We don't have to play by the rules. I don't want to like throw anybody off, but I feel like at some point we will answer Chris's question because we're all kind of jiving with it, aren't we? Shane says, just do it. Yes. Silliness. Yes. Embrace the new. All right. We've got the initial meanings coming in here. Take a leap of faith. From Simon, keep the faith and trust your instincts. We're going on an adventure. Oh, I hope so. I like adventures. Beginner's mindset. New beginning with lots of new adventures. Go for it. Find the adventure in the day-to-day. Oh, now I like that. I like that idea of finding the adventure in the day-to-day. We just got Kim smiling. Let's go. All right. We are ready to do this, folks. Yes, beginner's mind. We're liking it. So Simon says, this week we should embrace new opportunities. Yeah, this is the time to take those risks, isn't it? Oh, this one's harder. Connect with your inner child. This is something that actually came up in a conversation with a very dear friend of mine recently. And I've been trying to figure out what that means. Inner child work is something that I think is really outside my comfort zone, which probably means I need to do it because that's usually how that works, right? Emily says, think outside the box, find new thoughts to replace toxic or unhealthy internal dialogues. It's Appa. Yes, so Shane's new puppy, looks a lot like that, although I think Appa's cuter and fluffier. Right? All right, let's see here. Wild abandon, a journey, curiosity, and risk. And I'll pull out the melanated here. Don't worry, I won't forget. Look for new opportunities in unlikely places. From Aquarius Owl, you don't know what you don't know. Time to find out. Kristen Louise, don't get stuck in the clouds. Be more mindful. Okay, Kristen Louise, I have a question for you. Do you prefer Kristen Louise to always go together? Do you sometimes go by Kristen? I feel like I switch back and forth. And if that's too personal a question for a public chat, totally fine. I just want to be respectful and say your name correctly. All right, let's see what else here. Emily's agreeing with Simon. Connect to your inner child. We need to do this. Neem says, heed your dog's warning. Does the dog stay on the cliff as the fool leaps? So if the dog comes after us, does that mean we made the right choice? I mean, by that point, it's too late, right? Now Shane's going to hold me accountable because I said that out loud. That's what I get. Wade says the fool is the spirit in search of experience. I love that. The spirit in search of experience. That's great. Chris says, do something out there. Give 0 Fs about what anyone thinks. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Kristen Louise usually just goes by Kristen. Thank you for answering that for me because I don't want to be too obnoxious about it, but I appreciate that very much. Now I know for sure. Elle is encouraging Shane. Great. Brother and sister teaming up on me. See, yes, Chris is definitely in this fool energy today. Let's take a look at our melanated too. Oh, I was going to go digging through the deck for it. It's right on top. We're starting this journey. So here is our melanated fool. And don't forget, we will put the cards up closer and we'll dive more into the symbols here in a bit. Let's keep the meanings coming here. So Anne says, nothing is known. Folly or wisdom are both possibilities. All things are possible. Yes. Approach life. Whoopsie, where did it go? There it is. Okay, from Donna. Approach life with a fresh perspective. Kristen, it's about the journey, not the destination. Oh, this is like one of my favorite quotes ever because the journey really is the most important part. And I used to be very destination oriented. What's the goal? How do I get there as fast as possible? And kind of missing everything along the way. I think that's a difficult lesson for some of us to learn. Emily says, what if we were to ignore our inhibitions and trust our instincts and intuition about what action we need to take instead of always asking others first or relying on others for input and answers? Yeah, trusting our gut, like taking the leap, even if everybody else thinks it's a crazy idea. You never know what other people's motivations are for telling you not to try something. And even if they think they have your best interests at heart, a lot of times people's own personal stuff can get in the way. So we always have to look at ourselves first and trust our truth. Celtic Tarot Sheila, hello. Nice to see you. All right, Melanie, sorry, Oak Mama, seeing spontaneity in this card. Regina says, it's okay if you don't have all the tools and skills right now. If you try it, you will acquire them. Again, I mean, we're just fresh starting out new. And how will we get the skills if we never give it a try? Shanti Diva, hello, tarot friend. Let's see. We have new folks coming in. The universe has our backs. I hope so. I am hoping so. From Celtic Tarot, Sheila, jumping right in. The path to enlightenment is within the parentheses of our journey. I'm like picturing the journey inside the parentheses. Kristen says, blue is the color of the throat chakra. Speak your truth. Oh, no, that's interesting too, because we have this fool wears blue. This one wears green. thoughts? All right, let me see if I can, no, this side's better. This side's better for sure. I'm just going to scooch over and make more room for 2 cards here. Okay. Oh, hey, Robin. First time I'm thinking of the Fool as a Thelma and Louise moment. Well, that's okay. Hold on. I need to shift myself over just a little bit more to make room for both of these cards for you. Is that better? Okay, that's better. Yeah, but we all know how Thelma and Louise ends, so maybe that was good for them. I'm not sure I'm ready to do that one quite yet. Longman Tarot, he is only a fool because he is naive and doesn't know yet. He will pick it up as he goes. Yes. Neem, the essence or the end of the road is sometimes the start of a new journey. Very true. And, that's the whole point of tarot, right? It's like it's cyclical. When we get to the end, now we start the next cycle. We just don't just stop. We're not flat earthing it here, Tiny Trinkets and Tarot. Hello, Angela. Nice to see you. Emily says, isn't it interesting how when goal setting, some schools of thought advise to tell others as it will keep you accountable, yet others state you should keep what you're working on under wraps. And I think it's really just going to depend on who those people are and who you're going to tell, right? You have to make sure that those people have your best interests at heart, whether it's people, whether it's your spirit guides, whatever it might be, right? Emily says, for some reason, musing on this resonates with the Fool for me. I get that. I completely get that. T-Cat says, this card is all about new adventures and time to break free from something that just isn't working anymore. Time to take risks and be spontaneous. Hello, V. Yep, we got the Fool today. And then, so Kristen says, green is the chakra for love and healing. Yeah, so we have throat chakra over here. And then heart chakra here. Interesting. Jennifer Rebecca. Oh my goodness, I was thinking it would be the Fool today. You were right. Emily says, I feel like the Fool is really young at heart and honest about their feelings. An empath, perhaps? Arlene whoopsie. I don't want to skip Arlene Flower. Hi. The Fool has always been there to amuse others. He is now embarking on his own journey, throwing off old identities. Yes. Yes, which is very appropriate right now in a lot of ways. So Chris says, I'm going to bounce off what Kristen said above. Green is the heart chakra, following the heart regardless of what naysayers say. Blue throat, speak your honest truth without fear of criticism. Yes, I love how you guys are bringing that into this because I think that's all so the Fool embodies that very, very well. And Jennifer, yeah, I guess when we get to our last play date, everybody will know what the card is if they've done their homework. Neem says, I think of the Fool as the fetus being born, scared entering new territory, but coming forth anyway, natural part of the process. Yes. All right, Anne says the tree of life path from Kether, the crown, to, don't know if I'm going to say this right, Shakma, wisdom. Oh, there you go. That's to Kristen there. Sorry. Arlene's comment reminded me of the sassy burrito Fool. Oh, with the old man like in the beard dancing naked. I love that Fool. I know some people don't like it, but I love that Fool. Celtic Tarot Sheila, the Fool always reminds me of that jumping into a situation, never knowing the outcome feels foolish, but freeing. Okay, so let's take a closer look at our Fool and look at some of our symbols. And there's a lot to see in this card. Oops, let me undo that. There we go. So tell me if you see anything. I know the Fool is probably one of the most well-known and beloved cards in the deck, but let me know if you see anything that you haven't noticed before. I also need to see if I can get a line. There we go. I think this was the very first card I colored in my tarot coloring book because I just started at the beginning. And then I started skipping around for the Playdate cards, and then I haven't done anything since. So I actually know this one pretty well, I feel like. How well do you know this card? And then let's look at our melanated too. Might see something different in here. I actually like here. So here his boots kind of blend into his tights. And then here it's a little bit different. And I don't know if that means anything to anyone, but let's see if we can get some focus here. I love how we can see so much expression on this fool's face. And it's a very, what's the word? I want, not pensive, but it's a very thoughtful expression, I feel like, on that particular fool. Ain't a happy puppy. All right, so tell me what y'all think. I'm going to just hold up this one now for a bit. See what y'all think. My chat jumped way far. Emily had said, I feel like the fool wears his heart on his sleeve and isn't afraid to speak his truth, as the others speaking of the chakra colors alluded to. Yes. The fool always reminds me of that jumping into a situation, never knowing the outcome feels foolish but freeing. Did I read that one already and I just skipped Emily's before? I did. I think I did. Beth says, Waite says the fool's expression says the countenance is full of intelligence and expectant dream. Interesting. All right, Simon's got some symbol stuff for us. The white sun, positive aspects, nirvana, completion, cleansing the mind. Negative aspects, colorfulness, or colorlessness, sorry, naivety, and the mind has gone blank. Because here we have, especially in this one, right? We don't see that in this card, but in this card, in fact, while we're talking the symbols, I might bring this one back up. So we have the white sun, not a yellow or orange sun. Emily says, it reminds me of my little ones and the strange little bits of wisdom they come out with. I worked in a primary school years ago, and they would honestly be so wise in their youth. I mean, kids really do say the darndest things. All right, so the red feather in our fool's cap, that flame, or the flame of life and of joy, vital strength, potential, vitality. Kristen says, that's me this week, Simon. Mine going blank a lot. Yikes, that can be so frustrating. Tarot trainee is noticing the red inside his sleeve. Is that standing out to you in a way that maybe it hasn't before? And then let's see. Oh, we jumped again. Did it come back? Okay, you guys have had a lot of thoughts, and I'm getting behind now. Debbie says, is noticing the visible sun. Chris says, if you look at his mouth, he kind of looks like he is singing to me anyway. I know that might be a stretch. Hey, you're in a fun and silly mood, and you can see singing if you want to. I mean, but why not? Why not be singing as he starts his journey? And he's enjoying it, which I think is part of the point. Emily says, the sky being yellow feels very optimistic and positive. Yeah, it's not gray, thank goodness. Neem says, coming from a place that is familiar, going forth into the unknown, willing to face the changes to find the more, the different, the other. I like that. Let's see. Okwama says, in the 14th century, fools were often on the move between the towns. They lived free, but also ran risks of getting accosted or waylaid by bandits and such. Right? You still got to be cautious. And I think that's what our little furry friend is reminding us. Like, hey, make sure you watch where you're going. Make sure there's something down there at the bottom of that cliff to catch you. Right? Angela's noticing the contemplative look on his face. The melanated fool is very handsome. I know I've had this one up now for a bit. Contemplative. That's the word, Emily. That's the word I was looking for. Very good. Yes. So let me pull this up because I just want you guys to see the expression on this face, because is it not super contemplative? Right? He's definitely thinking. He's also not watching where he's going. Let's just make note of that. Richard says, I like how the sun is in the corner of the card. Most children tend to draw the sun like this in pictures. Oh my gosh, I always drew my sun that way. I was not a very good artist, and that was one of the things that I could do. You're right. Chris is also noticing the melanated fool is very handsome. Is it the little beard that he's got that's kind of getting y'all? And then Melanie said, on the melanated, his tunic is decorated with pomegranates, but stars on the RWS. Oh, wait. Don't they both have? Let's take a look at the tunics. So here we have the original RWS. Maybe there's a stray pomegranate or two. And this one here, we're a lot, I think, more consistent in the pomegranate. Good eye on that one. Very good eye. Okay, Simon says the bundle and staff. So obviously what he's carrying. Let's bring that here. The burden we each have to carry. Staff, task to sense and grasp one's potential. Kristen Louise says his bag isn't wrapped cloth, but a satchel. He's a little more prepared. So even though he's kind of, what it seems like he's doing this frivolously, there has been some planning that's gone into it. Julie Daniels, hi Julie, is noticing that in the melanated, he wears a wreath instead of a hat, and the pattern of his shirt looks like pomegranates instead of morning glories. Morning glories, is that what our original one is wearing? Is this one wearing a hat? Okay, definitely a wreath on that one for sure. What's on his head? You're right. It is a hat. Oh, you guys are good with the observations today. Yeah, tarot trainee. And I think it's because it's not really, yeah, it's a much more subtle headpiece in the RWS for sure. Okay, Simon says the yellow boots. Positive aspects, self-confidence with every step being taken confidently. Negative, seeking the way with his feet and not with his head. Right? Because his head's looking up here. So is that being guided by instinct, or is it literally just not paying attention to where you're going? Obviously, that's going to depend on the context of the question. I think both are probably true at some point. Simon, the cliff. It's impossible to say whether the next step will lead to his demise or to the next rock on his journey, right? And we don't really know how high this is, other than like the mountains in the back kind of make us feel like we're really high up. Let me come back to where my chat just jumped from. Wow, okay, getting behind here. So Patrice says that rocky precipice under his forward foot doesn't look entirely solid. Maybe more risky than we realize. Yes. Beth says, Waite says the sun which shines behind him knows whence he came, whither he is going, and how he will return by another path after many days. Well, that's good. It means he probably isn't going to plummet to his death, according to Waite. The white dog, either an alert watchdog or representing that the fool himself is awake and alert. I've never really thought about that. I've always kind of seen this dog as either discouraging or just kind of alerting or warning, or encouraging, like, yes, go for it. I got you. I'm running along behind you, as a fur baby would. Julie says, morning glories open in the morning and die at night. Really? Like they fully die and then come back? That's interesting. Neem says, yes, the fool is unconditioned, not weighted down by boundaries or expectations, just hope and faith. Pomegranates to me are the pomegranates of the high priestess. And also, don't we get pomegranates in the Empress card as well? It's interesting that theme carries through, especially with these early cards in the major arcana. Donna notes that he is wearing a white shirt close to his body under his tunic, right? So there's a level of purity in that. And again, maybe that's kind of the naivety that comes out as well. Beth says, throughout history, the fool has been placed at different places in the deck. True, right? Sometimes he's at the beginning. Sometimes he's at the end, after the world card. Sometimes he has no number at all. Well, I mean, I guess technically he has no number at all already. Richard says, is this the only card apart from the sun card that has the sun shown in the sky? I don't think so. I mean, we have suns on the horizon, right, in the death card. Okay, I'm choking on incense smoke. Hold on. Excuse me. Okay, we're fine. We're kind of fine. I'm still fighting a tickle. Okay, I don't want to cough in your ear, though. The fool's pose, open with his large wings, spread wide with his chin to the air, ready to take off with confidence. However, having your chin in the air could lead to arrogance, right? Or just not paying attention. All dressed up with nowhere to go. Oh, I think he's got somewhere to go. I like how you are always observing, though, what you really see in the card, Robin. I appreciate that. Pomegranates link us to the high priestess and the empress. Baby pumpkin. Kristen, you can see what you want to see. Patrice says, yeah, it's that look like, I know I'm hot. There could be some arrogance. Maybe it's not so much contemplation as it is, yeah, I got this. That dog's even following me. Did Simon say something about the fool being a bird-like creature? Oh, open with his large wings. Okay, sorry, I was reading what you were saying there, Robin. Simon says the red feather, the flame of life and of joy, vital strength, potential vitality. Yes. Beth says, I watched an interesting interview once with a child specialist, and he said the sun's placement is cultural. Oh, like with when we're children and where we draw the sun. That's interesting. In German, there's that guy who's called Hans Look in the Sky, the dreamer. Okay, I didn't know that either. It's a good thing I highlight these comments so I know where the chat jumps. Robin says, a young bird leaving the nest. Yeah, it really is like that. Gypsy in the Forest, hello, says he is leading with his heart. The attention to the tiny details is my favorite part of tarot. Yes, this is why I love Playdate so much, is we really focus in on that. And I see, and people point out things that I had just never noticed before. So when we're talking about, is he leading with his feet? Oklahoma says, I had a hiking guide in the Alps who told me to trust my feet. Yeah, maybe if we get too stuck on what we see, that's interesting. That's interesting. Sorry, I'm just thinking about all the things that could mean. Yeah, we never know what our next step might lead to. Isn't that what the tarot is all about? And oftentimes why we look to it for guidance, like help me make sure I'm putting my foot in the right place. Emily says, it also reminds me of when you see people on their mobile phones crossing streets without looking where they are going. Yes, I'm sure there's a modern fool somewhere out there already that has a cell phone in his hand. Yes, how can we read the mountains behind him? When I first saw this card and I first colored this card and I was very new in my journey, I thought these were like waves because of how they are colored. And then I realized, oh no, those are mountains. And, my first go-to whenever I see mountains in the tarot is to think, okay, there are obstacles. And then depending on how high these mountains are they little hills? Are they big mountains? Then that kind of indicates to me the potential challenges, right? And I think in the Fool card, there are very large obstacles because he is so new in his journey, because we have so much to learn. So I think the obstacles are much higher. We have a very long path in front of us. So that's kind of how I read that just out of the gate, but I'd love to know what y'all think. Donna's noticing all the white shirt, white dog, white mountain tops. Yes. And then Patrice was answering, I see the mountains as potential obstacles that he doesn't see or give consideration. Now, it's interesting that you think he doesn't even see them. Okay. Oklahoma says the dog is instinct, but he's not fully developed or heated in comparison to the sun card where the instinct is horse-shaped. Oh, that is interesting. Yes, Justin, I think we have decided that we definitely see pomegranates on his tunic. White Tree Tarot says, in Greek Orthodox Christianity is a term, holy fools or blessed fools. Their opinion was highly appreciated because they were considered innocent and able to speak the pure truth, right? So thinking about not being jaded by all the other opinions, right? And that kind of goes back to some of the stuff we were talking about in the very beginning about just not allowing all of those other voices to discourage us. Celtic Tarot Sheila says, pomegranates are so difficult to eat. I wonder if there's a metaphor for this. That's interesting. I wonder if that's kind of an aspect of the tarot in some way. Beth says, according to Sasha Graham, some decks in the 18th and 19th centuries place the Fool between judgment and the world. I don't know much about that. Well, that's interesting. I don't think I realized that. Jennifer says, I love the Fool card. The Fool card in the Light Seers is so beautiful. I still don't have that deck yet. Oh, I do. right there. It's not one of my decks for today, though, but if somebody wants to plop that in the Tarot Playdate Facebook group, just so Jennifer Rebecca can have another look at it, if you're in the Facebook group, Jennifer. Yes, I'm pretty sure Rachel Pollack speaks to the Fool's Placement in decks, too. We need to look it up to remember, though. Tarot Trainee says, you made me look. The sun is also in the Lovers, I think, unless that's Angel Radiance. I guess I've always thought about it like that, but I suppose that could also be the sun. Which deck are you showing using for this card? This is the Melanated Classic Tarot, Jennifer. Usually I have my original RWS, but I always like to bring a little diversity to Tarot Playdate. So we look at both. Gigi Nelson says, maybe the pomegranates that are also in the High Priestess and Empress are on his body because Universal Mother has brought forth his body, while the sun in the sky is the Father who brought forth his spirit, which is all around. Oh, wow. Justin says, I don't see pomegranates. I see flame and pinwheels, but they resemble the inside of the pomegranate when you cut them. See, I do see the pomegranates. Let me take this look. Maybe, I don't know if it helps. Not as much on this one, but when we look at this one, the melanated, I think that's where we really tend to see it more. There you can even see like the seeds of the fruit, right? So that tarot is all about perspective, isn't it? Richard says it's not a very practical outfit for mountain climbing. He only has a small bag. Is he really prepared for his journey? Is he being forced out of town with the dog chasing him? Are they literally running him out of town? Emily says, back when I was talking about the waves, I see waves too. Potentially they are meant to look like both waves and mountains to suggest obstacles and emotional upheaval together. Okay, so that's what I was picking up on. I appreciate that. T-Cat says, I think he has packed quite lightly. He couldn't carry that satchel so lightly if it were full. Some planning, but still acting on a whim energy. And I always pack way too heavy, so I have some things to learn from this fool. Gypsy says, mountains as challenges to overcome and heights to aspire to. Gigi, and maybe he is coming from the mountains as he is born into the world because that's where the waters come from. The waters broke, so to speak. Oh, interesting. Gigi says, the fool between judgment and world were because of his ability to trump every card except for the world because there is no higher card. Okay, all right. Pomegranates are symbols of hospitality in some cultures. And also can symbolize fertility, beauty, eternal life, and power. Elle says, they look like gourds to me. Are they the cute kind, though? Well, yes, that one they are pomegranates. I'd totally wear a dress with gourds on. I can totally see you in that, Elle. Maharet, I thought of sand dollars. Yeah, these ones with the little stars definitely look like sand dollars. Okay, have I caught up? Because if so, maybe now is a good time to start looking at some of our alternative cards. All right, let me get another sip here of my coffee. My cold coffee. All right, so before Playdate, I randomly select 5 decks from my collection. And so we'll see what we're looking at. It's going to be really easy. I won't have to dig for these at all. I spend all this time putting them in order. Okay, so the first alternative deck that I have today, I don't think we've seen this one come up in a while. It's the Joie de Vivre by Paulina Cassidy. Very whimsical deck. So you want a little silliness, Chris. This one brings it for sure. All right, let me see. Let me get caught up on your comments here. We're still talking about pomegranates. So in Christianity, pomegranates symbolize the sweetness of heaven. The fool also walks between 2 worlds, the visible, invisible, conscious, subconscious, heaven and earth. Okay, that makes sense. I knew what you meant. I knew you meant the fool, not the foot. And then Simon says, pomegranates were the fruits of the underworld for the ancient Greeks and Romans. In some decks, the high priestess is represented as Persephone. The pomegranate's very important to her story. Yes. And Justin says the wheels which ornament the outer garment are 8-spoked. They represent the whirling motion by which the one force manifests itself. Ooh, where's that from? It's in quotes, so I know you got it from somewhere. Okay. Oh, if anybody wants to, this is what the backs look like. I have not trimmed this, although I feel like it would look good trimmed, but I'm a scaredy cat when it comes to trimming. Okay, we have kind of a busy fool, so I'm going to give you a nice close-up look of this one here. It's very whimsical. Got a little spider. Got a symbol on her, oh, wait, that way. We got a symbol on her bag. I don't know if anybody knows what that is. We have a bat holding on to her ribbon there. So no dog, but we have a bat. But she's got all the elements here. Now this is interesting here because she's got, looks like she has another wand over her shoulder while she also has another in her hand, her other hand, which I think is kind of interesting here. What do you think? She looks sassy, says Beth. That symbol is the symbol for Uranus or Uranus, depending on how you prefer to say it. So the one on her bag. So is that the astrological symbol that's associated with this card typically, or not astrological symbol? That's not an astrological symbol. The planetary symbol. That's what I meant. Symbol looks like the planetary. Whoops, it jumped on me. Planetary ruler. Thank you. Oh, Gerald, did you jump in here and sneak by me? Hi, Gerald. Nice to see you. I just realized I just highlighted a comment that highlighted you. Emily says that bat really doesn't want her to go over that cliff. It's like, wait. Yes, apparently it is TCAT. Oh, welcome back to Real Time, Jennifer, Rebecca. I'm usually behind too, so maybe you and I were more in the same place. That probably doesn't make sense. Uranus equals Aquarius and is associated with the Fool. Okay. Okay, that's cool. Did you know that was associated with Aquarius, Elle? I only say that because I know you are an Aquarius. Kristen, looks like the L chemical symbol. Okay, I'm liking that. I would not have known that if you guys hadn't told me. Every time I say it, are you giggling? Okay. She's an insect, says Oak Mama. Is it, whoopsie. Aloha, Jonathan. I didn't mean to highlight that. I'm using the touchpad on the Mac, and I'm still getting used to that. I'm trying to reduce my dependency on the mouse, also because it's even jumpier than the touchpad is. I'm doing okay, but Jamie, hello, nice to see you. Oh, I just outed Elle's birthday. It's on Friday. Tell her happy birthday on Friday. Anyway, sorry, Elle. Sorry, not sorry. All right. Any other initial thoughts that you have? Now, I do actually think that we get cute little description for these characters in the book. So maybe I will read that out and then we'll answer our first question. I love that we finally got the Fool. I have to admit, a part of me was kind of hoping we would get the Fool for our very last play date because I thought that would be very appropriate, but the tarot gives us what we need and not what we want, as I always say. So here, Jaunt is the name of our Fool. Jaunt, that's cute. Spreads her wings as she leans forward to smell a flower, unaware that she is close to the edge of a cliff. Her bat companion, Prudence, oh, what a good name for a bat, pulls her back from the monster-infested waters below. So now we get a little hint as to what's down there below the cliff. A spider dangles from its web on her staff, a reminder that she's in charge of weaving her own life. Venturing forth with a fresh start, Jaunt embodies the spirit of discovery. She believes in herself, knowing that her possibilities are endless. Isn't that cute? That's so cute. Come on now. Now, isn't Friday the 12th? I think Friday's the 12th, right? Or did I say the wrong date? Where's my calendar? Now I have to know. Oh, no, Friday's the 12th. Okay. Yeah. She probably does. Well, I was going to say she gets some Friday the 13th, but she would never. That doesn't make sense. Thank you, Jonathan. It's from Patrice. Little Miss RGB in the house. RBG in the house. Must get that right. All right. Let's see. All right. We're talking about Elle's birthday because I totally outed it. I'll probably get yelled at later for that. All right, White Tree Tarot noticed that she is listening to the flower trumpet. Some advice from above. Oh, I like that. I like that idea. So our little flower trumpet right here. That's cute. All right. I'm scrolling. We got a lot of chatting going on. Okay, talking about Elle and how old she's going to be. So while you guys are doing that, I'm going to get our first question up here. Oh, let me hide that comment. There it is. All right, so our first question was from Simon. What qualities can we bring forward to be of benefit to our community? Ooh, what qualities can we bring forward to be of benefit to our community? So when I look especially at this particular fool, right? Now she's being almost a little bit careless. So we want to explore new areas, right? We want to help the community grow. We want to bring new things to the table. We want to encourage people to follow their paths and to take risk. But we want to make sure we look where we're going. Or if we stumble, be willing to maybe let people pick us back up, right? You know, a lot of times I think a lot of us want to bring new ideas, new thoughts, or awareness to the community. And sometimes that can be risky because you never know how people are going to take it. You don't know if you're going to get criticism for it. You know, if you speak up for social justice, you know, there's backlash for that, right? So it's being willing to take those risks that I think serve the higher good without being careless and not watching where we're going. So we end up falling flat on our face in a pit full of monsters. So that's kind of my initial thoughts on maybe some ways that we can bring a spirit of adventure and exploration and openness and encourage people to be to open their minds and not be so closed off to the existing ways of thinking. All right, what do y'all think? Sorry, Patrice. You really wanted Elle to have a birthday on Friday the 13th. That's cute. All right, let's see what y'all think. Embrace each other, says Simon. I like it. I like how you're answering your question. Yes, she does seem very whimsical. Patrice says, lead with our hearts and trust. Be childlike where we judge less and are more open. Yes, yes, yes. I kind of love equating that to being childlike. Whoopsie, don't put Kristen on timeout. Okay. Don't be afraid to go across the street and bring a bag of snacks to your new neighbors. Oh, yeah. Do people still do that in a pandemic? I don't know. I don't know. Elle says, yes, be the doggy, be the emotional support and watch them do their thing with love and pride. Oh, I like that. Like really encouraging them. Melanie says, openness, belief in possibility, but also willingness to listen. As a newbie, I want to say how friendly and welcoming the community is. I am really glad you think that. I agree. Aspesia Rising, relax enough to take risks by having faith in the universe. Fine line, though, with risk and foolishness, as the Fool often warns us. Jonathan says, the Fool says you have potential. You just have not formed it yet. It may say you need to tap into your unused skills. You should express your uniqueness and do what makes your soul sing. Donna, try to prevent others from walking off a cliff. Chris says, embrace your inner weird. Sometimes the qualities in us that have been ashamed, embarrassed, or turn out to be our or ashamed and embarrassed of, turn out to be our superpower that we can use to empower ourselves and other people, right? And the more authentically we are ourselves, the more we attract the right people into our lives anyway. Like if we embrace our quirkiness and the things that make us uniquely us, and we go forward without fear, then we are going to have the right people in our corner, the right people following us or traveling with us, or however you want to phrase that. Emily says, what can we do to help others without having to physically be with someone? If we aren't able to, can we send a care package, Zoom calls, send a letter? Arlene says, help, but let people maintain their agency. Yes. Yeah, and encourage other people to be their authentic selves and to trust that they can travel this road, and they're going to get to where they're supposed to get to. Beth says, try to stay optimistic. Did I miss anything? If I missed anything, I'm sorry. I'm not trying. I'm not trying. All right, I'm going to bring in another card, kind of keep us with the majors. We always tend to take a little longer. All right, so let's go deep, shall we? Into a deck I'm not yet familiar with at all, which is the Tarot of the She. So we're going to delve into the world of the fairies here. I do have the book handy, so that's good in case we need it. Let me take Simon's question up off. Feel free to keep those answers coming, though, if you would like. All right, so here is our Fool in here. And I have the book. Oh, did I say that already, that I have the book handy? I probably did. Oh, I need this Fool. I need you, Fool. Okay. Got the book. Got the very shiny cards. These are the backs, by the way, if you haven't seen these. All right, here is our Fool. Trying to ignore any camera glare. Love the labyrinth in the middle of the chest there. Oh, there's so I like how this step is like coming toward us. I think that's really interesting. What do y'all think? Oh, Chantal. Hi, Chantal. Nice to see you in here. All right, I think Emily was answering our last question. Reaching out to check on others who may be suffering or struggling, reminding others that seeking help for mental health is important and that they are not alone. Definitely, especially in situations like now where everybody feels a lot more isolated. Chris says, it's nice to see a fool who has jumped. Yeah, you definitely feel like that movement has already been committed in this card, don't you? Oh, damn, that fairy is ripped. Did I say that right? With the right tone there for you? I need to bring your words to life. Jonathan says, this fool advises to take a leap of faith. Beth says, yes, this looks post-jump. Okuma says, is he manifesting solid ground where he will land? Very ripped fool indeed. So I want to see, I think this book is very, like, if I remember right, it's fairly poetic. Oh, and it has very tiny writing. So we'll see how we do here. I'm going to read this, and you guys keep bringing your thoughts for me. I cannot give you my name, as I have none to give, or at least I have not the knowledge of it. You must think me a fool, for I cannot answer such a simple question. So a fool you may call me for now. I search for a name so I may know myself, but I cannot see the path that lies beyond the mists, so stepping into those mists, nor do my feet know which direction they must take. I come from the east, from between the rays of the rising sun, and with my hair flying free like the fire that burns in my head, I take the sacred leap that marks the beginning of a great journey. I trust, though I know nothing, innocence is my strength. I am the divine spark that lives in the breath of inspiration. I do not know what force will hold me up or what fate may await me below, but I must find my name, my place, my voice. Sometimes you have to leap before you fly. My heart is open. Will you step through the gateway? Okay, I don't know about y'all. Some people may not be into that kind of thing, but that gave me like chills. I loved that. This is a deck I was actually getting ready to work with, but then I had to put it in order for play date. So let me see what y'all are saying here now while I have been reading that. Oh, Beth asked, have his feet landed on the ground? I don't think so yet. Kristen says, looks like he is jumping through the mists of the Tirnanog, the other world of the She, into this world. Ooh, did you get that from what I read in the book too, maybe? Elle says it's promoting the idea of rebirth with the labyrinth on its chest. Are we truly blank states? Well, and I like this when it says he's searching for his name, right? So that labyrinth, like he's searching for the heart of who he is. Boy, I can relate to this fool a lot right now, as some people in my life may be aware of. That looks like a crowd behind him. I think it's plant life, but I can also see how you would see that. Like you feel that energy, right? It feels like nature is cheering him on, doesn't it? Yeah, the myths were mentioned in the book. Emily says, I really like working this, or do love working with this deck. It's so layered with meaning or messages. I can't apparently read what you're writing, even though it's right in front of me. Jonathan says, I can hear this fool saying, don't think, just don't try to rationalize what is going on. Just go for it. Yes. Chris says, the way his hair is drawn, it kind of looks like he's trying to flap his arms like wings. Like crap. This isn't working. Like, wait, I'm supposed to be flying, not falling. Oh no. That doesn't bode well, Chris. Wait, not rebirth. Elle says reincarnation, higher power. Okay. But I still liked rebirth as well, especially for the fool. Kristen says, I may have to give this deck another chance. This is one that I didn't think I'd connect with at all, but then I heard so many people raving about it, and it started to really intrigue me. And every once in a while, I need to get one of those decks that is going to push me out of my comfort zone. And like the Tarot de Saint Croix it has risen to the top as one of my favorites. It was one of the ones I was most hesitant about. And says, sorry, but creepy vibes. Fair. I mean, that's totally fair. Let's see here. This one is a powerful fool. Chris brought the silly. I knew he would. I was not even worried at all. And then Elle asks, what is that? It's jumping above. Is it a field or is it a cliff edge? So I think what's happening is he's jumping forward into the mist. And that's, I think, what a lot of us have seen and kind of what's described in the book. Justin says, I like the art, but I just can't read with it. Also fair. All right, so let's get to answering Emily's question. And Emily likes this deck, so this will be appropriate. What do we need to release this dark moon? What do we need to release this dark moon? And one word comes immediately to mind for me, and that's inhibitions, right? Self-limiting beliefs. I feel like this is a message that I've been getting a lot lately. It's like leaving behind the things that we tell ourselves that prevent us from taking those risks that really can propel us forward in the best possible way. But we have to turn off the inner critic, and we have to face fears that make us feel like we can't move forward, right? So releasing the fear, releasing the inhibitions, embracing the adventure. Those are my thoughts, but what do y'all got? Simon says it's strange now seeing this one untrimmed. I bet the artwork really pops on the trimmed version of this deck. Let's see. We need to release fear. Yeah, that's exactly where I was going with that, Beth. Same with Emily. Release the fear. Feel the fear and do it anyway. You know, one of the biggest things that I've heard and learned in the last couple of months, maybe just under 2 months, is fear is always going to be there. You know, and we've heard the phrase that you can't be brave in the absence of fear. And fearlessness is blatant foolishness, but bravery is recognizing the fear, listening to it, understanding it, but moving through or moving forward anyway, right? I had a reading where I was told fear is part of the team. Fear is always going to have a seat at the table. So if you sit around waiting for fear to leave, you will literally be waiting forever, right? It's, you know, fear's like, hey, I'm part of the team. You're going to have to deal with that. And it's an essential and important part of the team, because that's what teaches us to be cautious as long as we don't let it rule and control what we do. All right, sorry, I'm on soapboxes today. All right, Elle says, release self-doubt. Manifest and grow your wings. Stop it with the imposter syndrome, because you are very capable of growing your wings and getting to where you need to be. Emily, yes, definitely turn off the inner critic. Beth says, like Field of Dreams modified, wish it and it will manifest, right? If you build it, they will come. If you wish it, it will happen. Oh, thank you, Patrice. I appreciate that. I'm getting closer and closer to thinking about doing that. Let's see here. Let go of fear and replace it with trust. And even if you can't fully trust in yourself, like trusting in the universe, trusting in the support that you have in whatever form you may have it, but trusting in yourself, if you can get there, then you're really getting somewhere. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Oh, I like that. Jonathan says the goal of the fool is to experience life, both good and bad. Yes, yes, yes. All right, Emily's liking the answers to these to her question. Neem says, just like the ego, it's how you address it and how much power you give to it. Fear is the same. Yes. Taking risks is one of the only ways you can do that. All right, Kristen says the she refused to leave Ireland because they loved it too much, even though the other residents tried to kick them out. Let go of other people's expectations for your life. Oh, there's a lot of things we can release there. Anne says fear will hold you prisoner. Hope will set you free. Simon mentioned this yesterday, and I resonated with it so much, I actually wrote it down. I want to get so much better about writing down the nuggets of wisdom that I learn in my tarot studies from this community, in my own practice. I really want to be much more mindful and not let those moments pass me by too quickly. T-Cat says we need to leave behind all our self-doubts and just go towards the unknown. Oh, did I miss the Shawshank quote, Simon? Did I miss it? Or did I say it out loud and I've already forgotten it? Because, both things. Okay. I'm sorry if I missed it, Simon. I'm scrolling. Oh, let go of fear and replace with trust. Okay. I did read that. That's from Shawshank. Oh, that's interesting. I don't remember that. All right. I'm going to skip kind of to the end here. Let go of doubt, says T-Cat. Donna, release your fear of failure, which is holding you back from trying something new. And not only do we sometimes often fear failure, sometimes we fear success because the responsibility that might bring or the expectations that might bring. A lot of times we say it's fear of failure, and I think often it's fear of success, but I think both are legit. Yeah, I did read it. Thank you. And then Beth says, there are risks and costs to action, but they are far less than the long-range risks of comfortable inaction. Yes, very true. I used to listen to a podcast of somebody who's actually a personal trainer, like a fitness expert, right? And she talked a lot about how a lot of times we're afraid to do something because we don't know how it'll turn out, whatever. And so we stay in this place of the status quo. But like the worst thing we can do is nothing, because then that guarantees that nothing will work out. If we take the risk, yes, there's a risk that it might not work, but what if it does? And it's remembering that not doing anything is as much, that guarantees that it won't work out, right? Does that make sense? Anyway, Chris says, our fool is running away from the mountains, responsibility, hard tasks, which also means they are running away from the sun, happiness, satisfaction that comes with job well done. Let go of our tendency to procrastinate to avoid doing the work. This speaks to me on a deep level. Same. I hear ya. All right. That was awesome. Thank you, everyone. All right. We're going to get to our next deck here. Stop listening to your annoying ego. Push through and go for what you want. Yes, Chantal. Did I miss something that Patrice said? I'm sorry if I did. Chat's jumping all over the place. Oh, and Diane had said, fear will hold you prisoner. Hope will set you free. Oh, that's the one. Okay. Thank you. I'm trying to keep up with y'all. Paralysis by analysis, be gone. Yes, jump, do the thing. All right, let me get to our next deck. Okay, this one's going to be interesting. All right, I was so excited to get this deck, and I still haven't even properly looked through it. Not a lot of people like the art, but it's really special to me because I've actually been there, and I wish I could have gone there last year, but I'm hoping I'll get there this year. I have the Glastonbury Tarot. I have the book, so in case we struggle, hopefully that will help us out. You're talking about me. All right, I'll get the scoop from Elle. Scoop from Elle later. Okay, oopsie. No, don't stop with Shawshank quotes if they work. The one, this, I need to do something about, I need to put this in a bag because this box is not, not going to make the cut. Okay. Love the idea, hate the art. Yeah, just bear with me for a minute. Maybe we'll get through this card quicker so we can get to some of the others. This fool might run us a little long today. Here are the backs, by the way. The tour at the top. Okay. And this has a real specific, looks like mythology here to it. Our fool is Percival. So let's take a nice quick close-up look. See if we can get some focus on these shiny cards. We have a castle in the distance that I suppose Percival is walking toward. So this doesn't really have that kind of same reckless energy that we have seen in our other Fool cards. So I'm going to go straight to the book. It looks like there's quite a bit of text here in the book, so I'll see if I can just get focused on the story part of it. Because his father and brothers, all knights, were killed in battle, Percival was brought up in isolation with his mother in a forest in Wales. She feared that he too would follow the fate of her other menfolk, and to avert this, brought Percival up to be totally innocent of the ways of the world. She warned him that to ask questions was impolite, and this was to hinder his first opportunity of achieving the Grail. One day, Percival chanced upon a group of knights on horseback in the forest and mistook them for angels, throwing himself on his knees before them. When they explained who they were, Percival begged to be allowed to join them and to seek to become a knight himself. He returned to his mother to bid her farewell and left without looking back as she collapsed with grief on a bridge by their home. Okay, I don't think there's too much more to the story, so I'll keep going. Hopefully I'm not boring the crud out of you. After many adventures, he beheld a beautiful castle in the distance. Awestruck, he entered and was made welcome by a mysterious king who was badly wounded in the groin. Well, that's very specific. After feasting, a procession took place before them. 3 maidens passed in a line. The first bore a lance that dripped blood, the second bore a sword, and the third carried a chalice. Although curious about the meaning of this, Percival refrained from asking about it in case it was impolite to question. The next day when he woke, the castle had vanished and he continued his travels, not realizing that this was the castle of Corbinic, and the question he had refrained from asking had prevented him from attaining the Grail and healing the wounded king and his land. He became a knight to King Arthur, and although naive and foolish at first, eventually was a Galahad and Bors when Galahad achieved the Grail at the culmination of the Grail quest. Okay, that was a lot. But I think for me, the moral of the story was because he was afraid to ask the question, because he took the risk, what we were just talking about, he was not able to attain anything, right? All right, let's see what y'all think about this one here. I'm probably going to have to scroll back a bit here. I'm looking. Okay, here we go. Oak Mama. He's the young knight, pure of heart, who was on the quest to find the Holy Grail. And because he was too polite, he didn't find it, at least not at that point. Chantal says, this looks like someone who is thinking before jumping. Looks like he might be a bit chilly, though. Although he seems unconcerned about that, doesn't he? Let's see. Oh, Elle said, it's hair? I always thought it was one of those Egyptian headdressers. No, that's just a blonde Percival, I think. Percival is also the fool in the legend Arthurian tarot. Okay, well, that makes sense, too, because we're talking about the knights, right? Emily says, I love the moral behind that. He has no shirt on, ready to take on the garb of his new role. All right, let's get straight to the answering of this question. So this one was from Kristen Louise. How do we work toward accepting ourselves as we are, I mean, shirtless and everything, while challenging us to be our best selves? How do we work toward accepting ourselves as we are while challenging us to be our best selves? All right, because I have a little bit of a delay, I'm going to take a sip of coffee and think about this one myself, but I'd love to know how you all would answer this one. Someone is going to the house showing minimal clothing. She looks like she is playing golf. Tyke and Light Moon. Yeah, this is Percival, which I think Percival's a he. But yeah. Name, rub my belly and then pat it. Oh, no. Oh, come on. We can do better than this for Kristen, right? We can do better. All right. How do we work toward accepting ourselves as we are while challenging us to be our best selves? And I really honestly do think, like, we see Percival here is very much, and we have this white innocence, right? The white pants, very innocent garb here. There's a bit definitely naivety. He hasn't yet learned the ways of the world. So maybe it's embracing the curiosity and the naivety that allows us to explore the world in a more open way, right? And that in itself can be a challenge to help us be our best selves, right? Is to let go of all the preconceived notions of who we're supposed to be, what we think we're supposed to do, right? And I'm waiting for this question to kind of come back around. So I want to make sure I'm getting all my thoughts out there. Yeah. So how do we work toward accepting ourselves as we are, while challenging ourselves to be our best selves, right? So we do it in a self-loving way. Again, we release, from Emily's question previously, we release the self-limiting beliefs and the fears and the critical voice, and just allow ourselves to move forward in our quest for our holy grail. All right. Now that I've babbled, let's see what y'all think. Does this fool carry a bag? Doesn't seem to. It doesn't seem to, Beth. Emily says, funny because it reminds me of the princess and the pea. Opposite, though. The princess is too polite to say how uncomfortable she was sleeping on the pea, and that's how they know she's a real princess. So her being polite is what they then use to determine her authenticity, right? Interesting. Robin said, even our most bright and shining selves have shadows. Oh, for sure. You asked to Harlem, but I think we're going to get there. Okay, Kristen says, be willing to do something you might fail at. Yeah, the not doing of the something is the guaranteed. It might not be failure, but it kind of is, right? Hookmama says, I think Kristen's answer is in the question. He has an innate confidence, without doubt, that he can be the best self. I like that. Emily says, I think we have to hold space for ourselves to feel what we feel and accept that we will make mistakes, but to let go of fear around making mistakes and instead be humble, listen, and always do better. Beth says, to me, the answer to this question lies in the bag. The bag reminds us of new cycles as we are done with the past, represented by the bag. Except for there's no bag in this card. But if you were looking at that from the original Fool's perspective, is that kind of what you mean? Elle says, climb that hill. Acknowledge and acclimate to your ability, judgment-free, as you climb that hill, and be so proud of yourself when you reach the top, because you did it, right? And some of us have experienced that going to the top of the tour, right? It's like, all right, there's a sense of accomplishment and peace when you get there. Neem says, I walked to the gym, and instead of beating myself up about not using my membership, I raved about how I'd actually walked there. Find the good in the bad, but still keep attempting to go in. Oh, I love that. Jonathan, accept ourselves with a beginner's mindset and treat ourselves with a fresh start each morning. Yes. Oops, let's see here. Chris says, for me, the key to answering this is in the fool's shadow. They aren't trying to hide it. It's out there, but they aren't consumed with or obsessed with it. So work on your shadow and strive for self-growth, but don't try to squash or suppress the shadow. It's part of you at the end of the day, right? We need to integrate it, not try and push it. And again, it's like fear, right? Fear is part of the team. Our shadow is part of the team. Beth said the fool is the opposite of inaction. And then Al says, or asks even, is something that's easy even worth doing? You feel proud of the stuff that challenge you. That's the stuff that builds mastery. Yes. And then Chantal answers, through self-love, connecting with your higher self. Wonderful answers. Thank you all. Hopefully, Kristen, we've given you some good thoughts there. All right. I'm going to pull up my next card because I'm running a bit behind. I keep saying that. I keep trying to stick at that 90-minute mark, but every once in a while, a major throws us over the top. Okay, we got another moral of the story type. I have another out-of-print deck. Glastonbury was one of those. The Fairy Tale Tarot by Baba Studio. But I thought it came up in the draw, so we're just going to roll with it. And again, another not great box that it's in. Okay, let's see here. I want to keep this book out too, but hopefully, I don't know if we'll know this story. This is, I think, a much more classical fool for us, which is great. Here is our Fool from the Fairy Tale Tarot. So here we have definitely the elements, only we have a kitty cat instead of a dog. The Poor Miller's Boy and the little cat is the fairy tale that goes with it. Now, just because we're kind of running a bit late on time, I think let's just stick with the imagery in this one. But if anybody really wants to know the story, I can always plop it into the Tarot Playdate Facebook group for you. I'm sorry, Emily. I'm sorry. I don't mean to taunt you with this deck. All right. Did I miss anything while I was pulling that? Oh, Donna was answering the previous question, except that while we are products of our upbringing as adults, we have the power to move beyond those experiences. And Anne had said, just accept yourself. The light and dark, the sun and shadow, they are all one and the same, a part of yourself. Yes, yes, yes. Elle felt something climbing that tour, but she did it twice. So you know what? She went back and did it again. So that must have been something. All right. Ooh, kitty. Everyone's excited about the kitty. And then Diane had said, try to banish our fear, be our authentic self, and this will open the possibility of self-growth. I was afraid to type that, but did it anyway. See? And I'm glad you did, because I think that's absolutely right. Why were you afraid to type that? This is safe space, Diane. Safe space. No judgment. Percival's mom made him a blank slate without the wisdom of anything coming behind. He still strove to be his best self. Yeah, he ventured out anyway. I like that. All right. I know, sorry, my camera does a little funny thing with the light here. I'm still getting used to that, but hopefully you can kind of see. All right. What do you guys think? I would love to see the story. I promise I will put it in the Playdate Facebook group. Elle, my writer downer, will you write down, make sure I don't forget to do that? He looks as hesitant as I feel about this. All right. Let's see how we would answer Elle's question. What's something we need to mindfully notice and work on? What's something we need to mindfully notice and work on? T-Cat says, lovely kitty, even if it seems to scratch his legs. Apparently someone forgot to feed the kitty. It's like, hey, feed me before you go, will ya, at least? Right? That fool is doing what the young man always did in the tales, going off to seek his fortune. And then Kristen says, this reminds me of the Three of Wands. The world is yours to experience. Yes. Emily says, I feel like this fool is being cautious. I definitely see that too. We don't see that foot, like taking that step off of the ledge. He's like, kind of surveying the scene, seeing what's what. I thought I read somewhere, either Facebook or Kickstarter, the creators considering a reprint of this deck. Baba Studios has actually announced that they're not going to be printing any more decks after they finish the Bohemian Cats Tarot reprint. I keep hoping they will change their minds, because I have a deck, at least one deck that I still want to get from them, and it's really expensive to try and get it out of print. All right, Shane's got an answer for us. For her question, I would say leaving is fine and all, but sometimes you do need to be careful that it's not just a cliff. Like, make sure you're just not walking off the edge, right? So maybe pay attention to our surroundings is what this particular card is telling us to do. Emily says, perhaps being present where we are now, enjoying the little moments we might usually ignore. Thank you, Elle, for the link to the group. Jonathan says he represents a time when you can do anything desired and that limitations shouldn't stop you. Yes. Really? So they are maybe changing their minds about reprinting this deck. Interesting. Which Facebook group is that? I'm curious. Kristen says, slow the frack down. Let's see. Patrice says he's mindfully considering before stepping off. Look before you leave, which is kind of funny. It's almost like the antithesis of the typical fool energy, right? Neem says, where is it? There we go. That gray to the right of the fool looks like a side profile of a face saying very negative, discouraging things. And in this case, the cat looks like it's goading the fool on. So a lot of outside voices, right? Beth says that particular card has an interesting perspective. Don't really see his face. More emphasis on surveying the territory you're heading into. Yes. Donna, did I miss your comment with too many needs in it? If I did, I didn't mean to. I apologize if I did. Wait, oh, wait. There we go. And mindfully notice and work on your intentions. At this moment, are they in your own best interest? What is in the distance? A city? Definitely looks like there's like a little village or city or something for sure down there. Yep. Oh, that's the different, sorry, that's a different fairy tale tarot. So this is the one by Baba Studio, Karen Mahoney, and I forget his name. Yeah, they're confusing it, this one. Yeah, I did actually see that in the Facebook group that she was looking for interest about the other fairy tale tarot. All right, Chris answering the question here. Be mindful to do what is right, even if it feels controversial. Be true to yourself, and the universe will reward you in the end. Beth says, I would say this card addresses focusing on your goals and goal setting mindfully. All right. Al, do you think you have an okay answer from this? Did we answer? So in this one, I feel like we really do have, oh, did I miss a comment from you, Emily? There's a beautiful book called Romancing the Ordinary. It's about tuning into the little beautiful, wonderful things in life. Birdsong, sunrise, fresh air, fur baby, etc. Kristen says, oh, it looks like a Ren fair. Be mindful that you not take life so seriously. Enjoy the pleasures of magic and fantasy. All right, and L is good. All right, I've got one more deck, and then we will quickly talk about reversals, give you an activity, and send you on your way for the day. But hang out a little longer if you want to. That would be great. All right, the last one I have is the Everyday Enchantment by Poppy Palin, which I'm excited about. This is a really fun, modern, inclusive deck that I love. And let me set that over here. I'm not going to get the book out because she writes a lot. And again, strapped for time here. Here are the backs of this. If you haven't seen this deck, fully reversible. All right, here is our full. I still have not trimmed my copy. I know many people who have this deck have, and it looks fantastic. So here we have a lot going on. Looks like a bit of a construction site. Now that's interesting. That paint can spilled looks like a river. We have a little sprite or fairy creature there, which I think she has in all of them, a little sprite in all of her cards. What do y'all think? Simon, adore this deck. Adore Poppy too. Yes, yes, yes. Emily said this card makes me chuckle. I mean, I feel like this guy is like so happy. Like he's doing his work and he's happy and he's going along. I do feel like he's a little oblivious in this particular version of the card. So I'm kind of with you on the chuckle though. Let's see here. You really don't trim decks, huh? Tarot of the She, Everyday Enchantment. If you pull it up, no, I actually did trim my Druidcraft. One of the two decks I've trimmed, although Elle for Christmas gave me a much better trimmed version of the Druidcraft. So I am thankful for that. Emily says, rose-tinted glasses somewhat. It's really just about the patience to try and get it right. A horse or a unicorn? The sprite, let's see. What do we think that is? Looks like a little like Pegasus, doesn't it? Little horse with wings. He has a cat too. Oh, he does. He has a little cat right there. There's a lot going on in this card. Chantal says, think about your next step. Oops, I forgot to turn off Elle's question. All right, you guys can feel free to give me some generic observations about the card or anything different that you feel like the meaning is pulled out, but I'm going to get straight to our question here just because it's almost noon my time. And this is from Tarot Trainee. Original question was, how can we chill our emotions this week? But I also kind of added balance. So how can we balance or chill our emotions this week, depending on how you would like to interpret it? And I think really it's remembering that it can be real easy to get caught up in our heads, in what's going on, and we get very narrow-minded, and we have a very kind of a tunnel vision that will prevent us from seeing all of the other opportunities that we have available to us. So if I think about how to kind of balance and chill our emotions, it's like, remember that whatever is evoking that emotion, it might be important, it might be something you need to feel, but recognizing that there are other opportunities and maybe being able to release some of that, like we talked about from Emily's question, and being able to move forward in a more adventurous way will help us recognize that those emotions that we're feeling are just a very small piece of the puzzle. And again, they could be coming back to being simply fears that are holding us back. Those are just some random thoughts. I want to see what you guys think, though. Let's see. Oh, talking about a gay club in Pittsburgh named Pegasus. I feel like that was just, you guys were just talking about that in another chat somewhere with like Jilly, maybe. Let's see here. Oh, bye, Beth. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Donna says, this is the cat from the previous card. Now, really, P.O., that it was being ignored. That he's like, oh, yeah, I'll show you. I'm going to knock over your paint can. You're going to step in the paint. That's going to turn into a river, right? Okay, let's see here. Thoughts. Chantal said, think about your next step. I think I might have read that one out already. Meme says polluting the water, but it's the cat's fault, so I won't blame the fool. I saw something about gleefully kicking over the can. Where did it go? Oh, Robin said that. Gleefully kick over the can and sashay away. Dance to songs by the Village People. All your worries will fade away. Oh yeah, I see where that reminds you of that. For sure. Enjoying his work and not really caring for safety, which could be bad for the employer. I'm just saying. Kristen says balance work and pleasure, emotional mind and rational mind. Ooh, I like that. I like that a lot. Emily says, I think we can still be adventurous without putting ourselves or others at risk. Be mindful about the consequences of our actions. I definitely think there is some warning in this card for sure. Or what our words can really do. Chris says exactly what I was thinking, and don't draw the blinds. Goes back to giving zero F's about what anyone thinks. Yeah, dance, don't draw the blinds, just be yourself. I love that. Neem says he's definitely chilling, taking a break. Does he look like he's thinking of his next task? Nope, just enjoying the moment, in the moment, for the moment. Don't sweat the small stuff. Elle says, when I see the builder's hat, I instantly get angry. Nothing more annoying than walking past a group of builders. So in that sense, yes, they are fools. Oh, sometimes those, wow, they shouldn't behave like that, Elle, if you're meaning what I think you're meaning. Shame on them. All right, let's see here. We're talking about feeling good, listening to music, dancing. All right. Oklahoma says, there's a split in this card between the man-made and nature. Right? Is it a split or is it an integration? Jonathan says, through this energy, you feel optimistic and worry-free. Things look positive and joyful. All right. Any other thoughts? What do you think, tarot trainee? If you're still here. Oh, yeah, you're still here. You liked Kristen's answer. Oh, and then Kristen also said, oh, the hard hat, protect your mind from intrusive thoughts. Ooh, I like that too. Some of my favorite witchery involves dancing ridiculously to high energy movement. That's the kind of witchery I can totally get on board with. All right, feel free to keep the answers coming. But in the meantime, I'm going to get back here to our original fools. And let's talk about, for those of you who read with reversals, what you think when you see the Fool in a reverse position, or if it shows up in a position in a spread that represents challenges or blockages. You know, this is where I think we see the danger side of the Fool really come out. It really is that being so oblivious to the consequences that leap that you're taking or the risks that you're taking are not thoughtful and are potentially harmful to yourself or to others. I think definitely could be a thing here, or just blind naivety that isn't really allowing the opportunity for growth that we want to see happen in our Fool. But what do y'all think here? Let's see. TCAT was also answering the last question. Maybe the best way to balance our emotions is to take life as it comes and our feelings the same way. Days will pass. Emotions too. Not every feeling is great, but experiencing those is still important. Yes, I like that. Oak Mama, reversal, recklessness. Yes. Yes, bring the DBT skills. Yes, I like that, Kristen. I like the combining of the mental health and the tarot. Let's see. Emily says, thinking about the ways in which we numb ourselves to our emotions through drugs, alcohol, addictions. How can we support ourselves to do less of this and feel more of what we are afraid to feel? Interesting thing to think about. All right, more on the reversal here. Selfishly and impulsively leaving responsibilities behind, right? This is the person who just takes off, right? I need to go be myself. I need to go find myself, and doesn't think about the people they're leaving behind, the responsibilities they're leaving behind. That maybe isn't, well, understandably, an understandable impulse, may not be the best way to sort of embrace that fool energy. I like that, Elle. Take the leap. Come join the Tarot Playdate Facebook group. Yes. Any other thoughts on the reversals? I know Emily and Jonathan, you guys usually like to bring a few to the table for me. All right, you guys keep it coming. I'm going to get my Playdate activity ready here. Oh, well, it's easy because it's the very top of the list. So I've got it ready when you're ready. All right. See, I knew Jonathan was drafting something up here. Oh, Robin said running away from home. Yeah, that's a little reckless, and it's not fair. It makes people worry. I mean, unless there's a safety issue, right? Jonathan, reverse. The fool can represent actual foolishness. You may make an error in judgment and be reckless in your behavior. It can represent hesitation and fear. Fear results in indecisiveness. Yes. Donna, being unaware how our actions might affect others. If we fall off a cliff with the little dog jump off too, oh my gosh, somehow that makes me really sad to think about that. Going out for cigarettes and not coming back. Yeah, that definitely would be the full reversed, I feel like. That might also be a little something else. Jonathan says it can also signify resistance to change. The fool, when reversed, can indicate immaturity as well. Definitely. Chris, reversed fool is too attached to some illusion of control and as such is resisting necessary change, leads to being stuck in a stale situation. Thank you, Chris. You also are really great at bringing reverse meanings to a tarot play date. Thank you very much. Emily says, going to university. For some reason, there is something about the typical student that makes me think of the fool in reverse. You mean the student that likes to go and then parties too late, sleeps in, misses classes, and forgets what college is really for or university is really for? See a lot of those. I wasn't one of them. Just maybe. All right. I'm having flashbacks. TCAT, difficulties to live in a moment and accept that you cannot control everything. Oh, I like that. Chantal, sometimes you have to be the grown-up and take responsibility. Oh, yeah. All right, my friends. So before you leave, I think I have a quick activity if you would like to embrace more of the Fool's energy. And if you want to share it with us in the Playdate Facebook group, or for those of you who aren't on Facebook, and if you're watching and you want to share cards or activity results, going to Instagram and using the hashtag Tarot Playdate also works very well. Here is our activity that I will put in the description box below this video, as well as in the Playdate Facebook group when I post a link to this. Time for a new adventure. Take your deck somewhere you've never been before and give yourself a reading. Outside is best, weather permitting. Did the new location make a difference to your reading? How adventurous are you feeling? I have a few of these activities where I want you to take your deck places. The idea is that you connect with a new perspective. So if you can, I mean, that's not very pandemic appropriate, but hopefully you get where I'm trying to go there. Be adventurous, or do something adventurous that I haven't even thought of. And if you do, share it with us, because I would love to know how you all embrace the Fool's energy this week. All right, my friends, I know you've got some more thoughts in here, but I'm going to let you get on with the day. Oh, I'll open a window. It'll be less than 4 degrees this week. I mean, you could go in your car, right? If you have a car, if you drive, that's an option. All right, everyone. Thank you so much for being here, for contributing, for participating. I'm sorry I kept you late again, but I will be looking forward to seeing you all in the Facebook group or around other people's chats. And if nothing else, I will see you next week. Have a wonderful week, everyone. And I'm going to go be foolish now. All right. Bye, all.